Good evening on this lovely Monday evening on the 20th day of October 2025. I hope you all are having a great, awesome Monday here as we begin the second to last week of October before Halloween rolls upon us, before we also get into November. So, as always, my name is David Schlotthauer. It's an honor for me to be here tonight doing a live stream um, on Invest 98L as it's trying to get itself better organized. And it's been trying to do that a little bit on us this evening after my recent upload. If you haven't checked that out, be sure to go check it out after the live stream. And also be sure to check out my latest snowfall forecast. Believe it or not, that video already almost has 300,000 views. So be sure to check it out. That really paid off. So thank you all for checking that out too, that are new here. All right, so what we have going on is, of course, this system that continues to organize Invest 98L, and we thought we would not be talking about another system for the end of October, but here we are today. It is, I'm making sure my watch is actually correctly. It is Monday, the 20th of October. For some of you all, in about an hour, it will be the 21st, exactly a month after the equinox. Welcome fall, right? Doesn't feel like fall down there in the deep tropics. With very warm sea surface temperatures, we have this system that continues to get better organized, and it's going to do so in a fashion here. And unlike previous systems that move through and they're out of here, they go out to sea, this one is completely different. It has its mind of its own. It wants to stall out, and it doesn't want to move very much. And a system that stalls and doesn't want to move very much is going to be a problem. Oh my gosh. I don't even want to show you all the rainfall totals that this system might produce for some locations, but of course it is my job here on my channel to provide you all that needed information. So with that being said, with what we have going on satellite right now is, of course, we've been talking about this Invest 98L, strong winds on the northern side of this system right now. We have winds almost to tropical storm force based on satellite estimates, based on what I'm seeing here. It is without a doubt, this has about 35 to 40 mile an hour winds. So once it gets designated from the National Hurricane Center or it gets upgraded, it will probably be a tropical storm and will be our 15th named storm, or not 15th, excuse me there. Going ahead of myself, 13th named storm of the 2025 Atlantic hurricane season. Still below average with the number of named storms. Yeah. The average is 14 and a half named storms for an average hurricane season. And so we are still below average, but hey, we are up there. We're definitely not at 8 or 9 storms for the season to date. We're up there. So definitely a sharp wave pocket here. That's been the story today, is that this system is trying to develop a closed circulation. As it does slow down, though, the chances of that occurring will be much greater because the system's not moving as fast. So where it's not going to take much for that circulation to close off. Right now, it's still an open wave trough, and people are probably saying in the chat, dude, this is a closed circulation. It's not closed yet, all right? And I'll show you some confirmation about that in just a little bit. So right now, this is an open wave trough, very, very sharp indeed. We have explosive convection that is trying to get better organized now, and this could have some wrinkles. If this forms further south and it's able to drift a little bit further west with what some of the models are showing, this has a better opportunity of strengthening in a hurry. And the reason why that is because the vertical wind shear is not going to be a whole bit of a problem with southward extent. Now, if this is able to jump a little further north, then the vertical wind shear is going to be a little stronger, preventing at least otherwise extremely fast intensification. It's unavoidable. We're gonna see a system. It's either gonna be a high-end tropical storm or a major hurricane in sorts. So here's a look at the National Hurricane Center here. They're giving this a 90% chance of tropical development. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to believe. My last video today was at a 80% or 70%. Oh, wait. My gosh. Yeah, it was 80%. That's what it is. Now it went up to 90%. And that's a big jump from yesterday and from the day before where the chances were relatively lower. So, yeah, this definitely has everybody's attention. In not only because the winds are going to be strong with what every tropical storm brings, but boy, oh boy, the rainfall with this system will clearly outline that winds are not as important of this tropical storm than the rainfall will be that is going to dump over the higher elevations here of Jamaica as well as the Dominican Republic, including for the far southeastern of Cuba. All right, and exactly where this is going to go, people are already speculating in the chat. I see this could impact Florida, David. It could, all right. In theory, yeah, it could impact Florida, but the chances of this getting into Florida right now, I'm giving this a very low chance, all right. So I don't want to have you guys speculate. Oh, it's going to hit Florida, David. You watch, it's going to pull a Wilma, or it's going to pull a Mitch, all right. The weather patterns don't repeat themselves, all right. So this is different than Mitch. This is different than Wilma, okay. Intensity wise, it could pull a Wilma. There's this very slim possibility, but I mean, we can't predict with great confidence that, oh, we know for a fact, David, this is going to be a Wilma. It's going to have a sub 900 millibar system. It's going to have the worst winds possible. We can't predict it. We have better idea that this is going to be a tropical storm. So if you guys ask me that, oh, is this going to be a tropical storm? Then the answer is to that, yes. All right, so long story short, this is going to become something pretty significant, anything from a strong tropical storm to a Category 1 hurricane in the next 7 days. And the National Hurricane Center here outlines a large area of showers and thunderstorms persists over much of the eastern Caribbean, sea to the east of the tropical wave. So we basically have a lopsided system, which indicates there is some vertical wind shear. You can even see the clouds here not really moving while you have this easterly flow underneath. This is actually a vertical wind shear of over 30 to 40 knots right now. And this is lopsiding the system. So all the convection and messy weather is happening to the east of the open wave trough. Let's kind of hover over this. So there we go. You guys can see that now, just like I can. But environmental conditions are soon forecast to become more conducive for development, and a tropical depression or tropical storm will likely form over the next day or two while the system slows its forward motion over the central Caribbean Sea. Regardless of tropical development, heavy rainfall and gusty winds are possible over the ABC Islands during the next couple of days. Interest in the Puerto Rico, Hispaniola, Jamaica, and Cuba, we just mentioned those areas, need to monitor the progress of the system, as there is a risk for very heavy rainfall, prolonged heavy rainfall, flooding, maybe some landslides. There is the potential for some coastal flooding as well. I hate to say that stuff. I really do. But I mean, a system that's going to stall like this isn't no joke. It really isn't. And you got to take this one seriously, especially when we don't even know where it's going to go in the first place. How difficult is that? In fact, I am really frustrated with the forecast because we still don't know where this is going to go. I mean, come on. We should know by now. Well, no, we don't, because the steering flow with this system is extremely complicated. All right, so looking at the European model, this has been, I've mentioned this in my previous video, but we got the 18Z run in, and I save these live streams for to go into deeper analysis and detail with what we're actually dealing with here. And so, of course, we're dealing with 98L, soon to become Melissa, here in about 24 hours. I guarantee they're going to give this a name without a doubt. If not, it's going to be a PTC, potential tropical cyclone, quite soon there. That would be 13. So by Tuesday morning, in the wee morning hours of the 21st of October, you can see why this is going to deserve a name. This would be closed, and this would be pretty strong. This is winds in knots, not miles per hour. So you would add about 6 or 7 miles an hour to this. So we would be looking at a 40 to 60 mile an hour tropical storm in 18 hours. I wouldn't be surprised given how deep this convection is right here. You can see how explosive in the last few frames. It's really, really blowing up. And that helps to lower the pressures underneath. As long as we get divergent flow aloft around the system, it breathes out, then it breathes in. So we can see tropical storm force winds here to the north of the system that are pretty strong. And there's even going to be some localized winds in some of these canyons coming in out of the northeast. And as we go forward here over the next day or so through tomorrow afternoon into the evening hours, this does try to get stronger. So in about 2 days, we could be looking at a strong tropical storm with winds of about 60 to 70 miles per hour. All right. Unlike past systems where I have not been confident about the intensity forecast, this is a different situation. I am really confident that this is going to be a big system. I think this is the big one that everybody has been talking about. Even Mark said it about a week ago, or no, wait, almost a week ago, is that we're bound to get something. We cannot end the hurricane season without seeing a big one out there that impacts a lot of people. And this could be the one. Unfortunately, it has to be the end of the hurricane season, towards the end of it, right? Unlike Beryl, literally was at the beginning of the season, but this one's coming on the other side. And that is really unfortunate because I know a lot of people here that are watching are like, oh, we're done with the hurricane season, David. We're done. Nope, I guess we're not. Let's go into Wednesday night into Thursday morning. System again remains really intense here. You can see 74 mile an hour winds, 77. So even a low end hurricane here, even on the European model. And the concern here is it's moving, but then watch what happens. It just sits there. It just doesn't move. It doesn't move. So let me highlight these areas right here. Let's put a dot. This is Thursday morning, so I'm putting a dot so you all can see where the center is at that given time. Here it is a day later, right about here, Friday morning, has moved only that much in a 24-hour period. And let's go to Saturday morning. It's barely moved. It's barely moved. That's 2 days right there. 2 days of movement. And then going all the way out to Sunday morning. Yeah, look at this. One full day, 2 full days. That's like 4 days right there. 4 days. This is barely moving. This is barely moving. This is a really, really big concern. I am really worried about this because when you have a system that stalls like this, yeah, this is all the way through Sunday afternoon. This is not moving very much. I wish I can get some distances on this, but a system moving this slow, yeah, if you get onshore flow like this on top of the mountains coming in out of the north like this, and then the Haitian Peninsula, you can get a lot of orographic forcing, a lot of lift up and over these tall mountains of the Haitian Peninsula of the Dominican Republic. This is a really bad scenario, very bad for a lot of these locations, especially on that right front quadrant, since our system is a little bit elliptical, not really elliptical, a little lopsided because of that shear. You're going to see some of the heaviest rainfall on the north and northeastern side, even the eastern quadrant of this circulation of 98L. So it just doesn't move. And this is from the Euro. This is not fantasy model. This is not a liar at all by any means. This is the Euro model, the one that's typically more conservative. Can you guys hear me? Hello? Hello? Can you all hear me? Some people are saying in the chat, I am frozen. Connection looks good. I want to just show you all. Connection is good here. So I don't know why some of you say I'm frozen. I did fix the keyframe thing. There was an issue with the keyframe. It was not my internet, so that has been resolved. So far, things are working really smoothly. All right, you are good. Yes, I can hear you. Yes, yes, yes. Good, 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 good. I love hearing that. All right, loud and clear. Okay, we can hear you loud and clear. Good. If I sound a little too quiet, just tell me to turn it up a little bit on my Rodecaster. So that's a system that we are watching. Okay, this is all these systems that we've been tracking this year have moved. They've been moving. They've recurved out to sea. This one, on the other hand, is not going. It's going to recurve, but well, you got land areas right there. You got Cuba. You got uh, Jamaica. You've got the Haitian Peninsula of Haiti. Yeah, where do people live, right? They live on land. They don't live on water. Well, some people, if they have houseboats, you can kind of tell yourself you live on water, but you know, you're not standing on water. You're not sleeping on water, if that makes sense. All right, so GFS, what does the GFS actually show? The GFS has been the outlier here, and actually, for one thing, has been a better outcome, to say the least. Not that this is going to make landfall, but it's not going to stall. That's the good outcome that I'm telling you all about, is it's not going to stall at all on the GFS model versus the other models, but still going to bring a lot of rainfall, some significant flooding, and it really does move slow. It doesn't move very fast. And so on this particular run, it shows it hitting the southern tip there of the Dominican Republic by Thursday. I would probably assume right now this is more than likely an outlier scenario, given that it has been locked and loaded on this, whereas the European model has not trended towards this yet. We will wait for our 0Z model run to come in tonight from both the GFS and the Euro to see if there is better corrections. We can't wait to get the aircraft data out in that to help and better correct the models for us here as forecasters, so we don't have to be stumbling on our feet. Where in the heck is this going to go? Now, the other scenario that the GFS model is showing is it does stall out just to the north of the Dominican Republic. So there is a stalling system here, which really begs the question, where is it going to stall? When is it going to stall? And how strong is it going to be while it stalls? That's going to be the big question that none of us even know right now. We just don't know. The only thing we know is this is going to strengthen. It's going to become a strong tropical storm or hurricane in the next 4 to 6 days. So you can see here, it moves right over the Dominican Republic. Literally, the entire island becomes the center of low pressure, and then it moves offshore. But look at this. It just kind of just stalls there. It just sits there. So we have a full day of this where it just kind of hangs out right here. We go to the next day here on Saturday morning. Yeah, Saturday morning, it hasn't moved very much. Not much at all. And then it tries to get yanked out, but really, it just moves very slow in that couple of days. So it's going to drift, and it's going to cause a lot of problems here. Even in Puerto Rico, where you get that upslope flow, Puerto Rico it could get a lot of rainfall out of this. And just to show you how much rainfall you could see here, the southern portion there of the Dominican Republic, you could see on as much as 400 to 500 millimeters of rainfall. This is not in inches. This is a metric unit. For anybody that loves metric units, I really don't personally, but the map shows that, so we have to use with what the map gives us, right? Or Puerto Rico, you could see anywhere between about 100 to 400 millimeters of rainfall. It's a lot of rainfall. That's a lot. That's up there in the 2-foot mark in some of these areas. So please take that into consideration. There is going to be a lot of flooding, maybe some unsurvivable impacts with this, because on top of terrain, you can get landslides, you can get debris flows, that sort of thing. And I just hope that never happens with this. But unfortunately, that's probably going to happen. It's bound to happen sooner rather than later. The icon model is rendering, and we will wait for this to finish its cycle. It is further south, and it's about as strong right now. So we are going to just be patient and wait to see what this shows on the other side once that model is done rendering. This is, again, the 0Z icon model, the German model, as you're seeing it. Let's look at the artificial intelligence model. Here. So this is the AI based version of the Euro, and it is showing the system pretty much going where the GFS is actually showing. So we will see a big test for both of these two models, the artificial intelligence model of the Euro and the GFS operational, showing a system going right over the Dominican Republic here. And again, how strong it is will be very important. But this one brings a lot of rainfall. A lot of rainfall. Actually, it looks like that retrogrades. Hold on a second. Does that retrograde? Yes, it sure does. So it moves on shore, then comes back out and boomerangs and moves back out, literally where it came from in the Central Caribbean. Wow, would you look at that from the AI model? It wants to do it, and then it wants to make it go back over to the Dominican Republic again for a second time. And at the end of all of this, on the AI model in the next 10 days, if you want to believe this, that's up to you. Man, some of these areas right along the coast here could get up to 700 millimeters of rainfall. That is a lot of rainfall in a 10-day period. I hate seeing that. That's a lot of purple there. So there's going to be a lot of flooding. There's going to be a lot of impacts. And that's why I'm trying to get this out to a lot of you that are watching this from Jamaica, from the Dominican Republic, from Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico. That's how you can say it. But yeah, lots of rainfall down there. What does the icon model show? Let's see here. Yeah, see this? Man, is that 1,000 or is that 114 millimeters? I can't tell. Let me put on my glasses here. I can't even see that on the icon. Man, my vision's not really good. That is 1,014. That is 1,014 millimeters of rainfall out here in the middle of the ocean. Wow. That is unprecedented. That is really bad. Really bad. And that's from a system that is not very strong on this run. Actually, it does strengthen really quickly. It does, yeah. You can see it really exploding right before it hits the Haitian Peninsula here. So that is something that is a bit interesting from its 12Z model. Models seem to be trending towards the GFS over here. So somewhere over here, we seem to have a consolidation of most models right now. We'll see what the Euro shows tonight when it's in the GFS, if things have changed a little bit. So now let's take a look here at the HAVS A model. That is the 18Z model forecast, and we can see that the system does strengthen, but remember what I just told you all, it stalls, right? Keep an eye on the land over here, right? See the pieces of land? There is Jamaica right in here. Watch the land. It doesn't move. It does not move because this is a floater forecast model. It doesn't move very much. It moves very, very slow. And that's about a day's worth, right about in there. It doesn't move very much. And that's on this forecast model. Means we have a stalling system. System's not going to be moving very fast. Let's take a look here at the HAVS B storm forecast. What that's showing. Let's see. It that just sits there, so you can see over the next several days, it just sits there. It doesn't move. See the land? Yeah, this is pretty close. That's very close. And when we look at our rainfall, where this stalls is, it's going to be really important. If this stalls a lot closer, look at all this rainfall right in here. Water spouts, tornadoes, that sort of thing on the eastern side. Because you got that vertical wind shear that is going to be at least tampering with the storm a little bit. That's based on what the simulated radar reflectivity forecast. But look at that eye wall. Look at that inner core structure. Very, very strong. And even again, like I said, even some banding futures here that could develop or could be favorable for water spouts and tornadoes as well. Well, tornadoes once they come on shore, but water spouts over the waters here. That is something that we will have to wait and see from Doppler radar. I think there's one in Jamaica that's able to kind of show us what the storm is doing. Whether or not it's going to be looking like this is hard to say, but in 5 days, this is a formidable hurricane with a very tightly wound up inner core structure. And you can see that here on the red, a lot of red colors, kind of maroon, indicating 115-mile-an-hour winds on this model. So that is stronger, a little stronger than the last model run from this morning. So that is worth noting in subsequent outlooks and forecasts on our hurricane models, that it is showing some strong intensities there. So let's go to our vertical wind shear, because the vertical wind shear is going to play a big role in all of this. Right now, vertical wind shear is going to keep this thing from developing much quicker. Unless it really fights at vertical wind shear, then it could develop much faster than what we anticipate. But right now, vertical wind shear should be strong enough to keep this lopsided and keep this tilted with height so it doesn't develop an inner core very quickly. Because if we do get an inner core that develops very quickly, because the vertical wind shear is lesser than what we thought, then we could have a much stronger hurricane on our hands, because we all know the Caribbean is very favorable with a lot of moisture, as well as a lot of upper ocean heat content. This could, I mean, if everything was perfect, if we had no, well, in this sense, if everything wasn't perfect, because we don't want this to become very strong at all, or it shouldn't even be here in the first place, right? If everything wasn't perfect, where we had a very little wind shear, lots of upper ocean heat content, which we have, lots of moisture, we would be dealing easily with a Category 5 hurricane. We would. In this part of the Caribbean, water temperatures are very warm, they're very deep, and that supports intense, violent hurricane production. In this case, thankfully, with the vertical wind shear here, that's the only inhibitor right now that could stoke this down a couple of notches from getting too strong, and that would be good. But however, that's not going to be the save and grace forecast forever. As you can see here in the next 4 days, the system is down here. Vertical wind shear becomes lesser because we have this anticyclonic shear vector that the system is within, and that allows our system to develop a little quicker. So that's why the Euro explicitly shows this developing much faster. And you can see it here towards the end of the forecast, how vertical wind shear overall is a lot lesser than at the beginning of the forecast. All right. So that's something that we will have to watch in days to come. The GEFS ensemble forecast, we talked about the rainfall. Not going to go through it much again right now, but overall, this whole area of the Caribbean needs to be watching this system. Even in the southeastern Turks and Caicos Islands, you're going to potentially get 4 to 10 inches of rainfall, again, depending on who is actually going to get impacted by that. All right, so let's talk about the latest intensity forecast with our system over here. Let me switch scenes. Okay, there we go. So now the question is, and on everybody's mind is, if it stalls, does it intensify? And the answer to that is yes, it's going to more than likely intensify, but how quick? It's hard to say right now. But some of our models, like the CTCI, which tends to be an outlier, but the HAVS B model, which we just looked at, shows a Category 4 hurricane here. But because those are outliers, we cannot take that into consideration really much, that, oh, they're showing a Category 4, David. This is going to have a Category 4. Theoretically, the ceiling on this is Category 3 to Category 4, but because of the, as mentioned, vertical wind shear and some drier air that gets in the way of the system, there is going to be a limiting factor to this. There is going to be a ceiling, whether or not is at Category 3 or Category 4 or a 5. We don't know, but one thing that is certain that I can say in this forecast is this is going to become a hurricane. I see that happening with winds that are greater than 75 miles an hour. And so therefore, my intensity forecast has not been changed from the last one from my video this afternoon. Oops, I went a little too high. So this is pretty much my intensity forecast right now. I do peak this at 90 miles an hour in the next 7 days because of where we're at right now. But that might change. We'll wait for our 0Z model runs to come in tonight. But there is a little bit of uncertainty with the intensity, but not as uncertain with the intensity as we're seeing with the track forecast. But for sure, this will become a hurricane in about 4 or 5 days. That's what I'm forecasting right now. So now, where is this going to go? We just looked at each individual run, but what about the spaghetti plot? Yummy, yummy in my tummy. Yeah, say it with me, folks. Spaghetti plot, Mr. Arius over here, or we can call it a spider web forecast because it looks like a web of different possibilities. So what we have here basically is as disgusting of a forecast you can potentially get. Like, what the heck is going on here with the GDMI model? It literally hits the mountains. So you can see the system hits the mountains and then it just kind of goes like that. What in the heck of a forecast is that? So, of course, do not use this map to make decisions. Please seek official info from your local officials, your local authorities, and the National Hurricane Center for latest information. Because this is going to change very quickly. We do have pretty good certainty, though, that it's going to be over here in about a day or so. But then where does it go? I mean, after about 2 days, we see tracks that look like this. We see tracks that look kind of like this. And then we have some tracks that look kind of like this. That's a big cone of uncertainty right there. Just in 5 days. Just in 5 days, it's like a 15-day forecast. We don't know where this is going to go. That's where we're at this point. Does this miss Jamaica and move to the south of Jamaica, but brings a lot of rainfall to the area? Or does this move well to the east of Jamaica and moves into the Dominican Republic and brings heavy rain for you? For this case, it is very hard to make a forecast with this type of situation. But if I can make the best forecast on Earth, well, not on Earth because the NHC is better than me on this one, I would say right now the track forecast is pretty much right here. This is where I think the system's going to go overall. So I think it's going to be just to the southwest of the Haitian Peninsula, and then it's going to be just to the east of Jamaica here, which doesn't mean Jamaica is out of the woods. That's based on now. Okay, if the guidance shifts towards the west, then this is going to shift to the west a little bit. All right. Right now, all you need to know is if you're on the Dominican Republic and with rainfall impacts, even if you're on Puerto Rico and Jamaica, you need to be watching this because flooding is unavoidable at this time. It's just a matter of how much flooding will you see with this rainfall. Okay. Now, if you thought that was uncertain, well, take a look at this map. You ask me now how uncertain of a forecast that actually is. I don't know if this might be from another system. I hope it's not. I really hope it's not. Actually, I'm seeing that for the first time. Not for the first time, for the second time. I want to look at the ensemble on that really quick. I want to make sure I'm getting this right because that might be another separate system. And that one looks a lot more juicier on the models. So let me look at that. Okay, 12C. I want to make sure I'm seeing this right because... Okay, so that is one system. You guys help me out here too if you guys want. So this is one system. That's 98L, right? Okay, it is from the same system. Wow, okay. That is interesting. Or is it from a separate system, but it's really close to the other one? I don't know, man. That is... Yeah, because the majority of the ensembles with 98L bring it out over here. But then there's this other group that's left behind. So... Man, if that is another system, that one has more potential of getting closer to Florida. The GFS showed a separate system like 2 or 3 days ago, but didn't last long. Laughing out loud. Okay. So yeah, this is very tricky right here. So I think that might be on the same system. Boy, if it is, wow. Oh man, talk about a very tricky forecast. Yeah, we're not done yet. We are not done yet. Yeah, there's tons of models right over here, really intense ones going out to sea like this. So that is a very big concern on the Euro. The GEFS ensemble doesn't have that scenario, and most of them do develop over the Dominican Republic in a hurry right here. You can see a lot of oranges and yellows indicating strong tropical storm-like winds. Of course, there are some other members out here and to the north that show a strong tropical storm intensity, but none of those show hurricane intensity, which is a little surprising. Oh, icon just updated. Let's see. A little bit above Jamaica. That means it's not moving very much. Sorry to switch gears there. Let's see. Man, that eye wall goes right over the southern tip. Well, all I gotta say is do not look at the icon model for rainfall totals. Do not. I mean, almost 1,700 millimeters. Hey, Siri. Actually, never mind. I can go out and look at the Caribbean side and look at inches. Yeah, that's 65 inches of rainfall. That is 65 inches of rainfall. Yeah, right. That's not happening. Sorry. That's not, well, it could happen, but wow, if that actually happens, that will be full devastation. That will be full devastation. All right, so back to our ensembles here. The FNV3 model, yeah, it really likes the Euro on this one too. Look at all the pink tracks right here. This is insane. That's a 918 millibar system. Got a 927, 939, a 938. Right over here, man, these are really intense members right here showing, oh, a 924. So we have a lot of intense members over here at around the 10-day mark. So the scenario that we have here is, does this turn out and doesn't have time to strengthen because of the vertical wind shear? Or does this kind of fork off and go like this south of Jamaica and then tries to make the turn to the north eventually? My goodness, what a tricky forecast. I mean, you saw the icon. It wants to squiggle right through here, even between the two land masses. That'd be ironic to see. Like the system's trying to avoid land masses. Well, you're not doing a very good job at it. You're really not. So that's what we're going to be watching over the next several days. The generational Google DeepMind AI model shows really intense members, also showing a major hurricane. Some of these pink plots here are down into the 920 to 930 millibar range as well, just to the west of Jamaica. But look at this. Would you laugh at this? None of the members from both the the FNV3 is different, but wow, the Google generation control member is not really enthused about that over the Haitian Peninsula, and instead this spends a lot more time over the waters, and this again might rack up a lot of ace points if it comes to that. And so when we look at our sea surface temperatures, you're seeing it right in front of you. Water temperatures are well above the average. I mean, these are ridiculous. Mid to upper 80s. Sea surface temperatures about 1 to 2 degrees above normal. Upper ocean heat content, all of the grape purple on your screen. Yes, would you look at that purple there? That is very, very high upper ocean heat content values. So our system stalling out right here. So it's going to kind of park itself right in this area. And then it's going to be moving potentially towards the west where it could encounter all of this purple. That's that's why we need to be concerned about this. We really do. Okay. I'm afraid this is going to pull, I don't want to say the names of the systems, but you know what I'm talking about. I'm afraid this is going to pull the unexpected for us. I have an itchy feeling about that because of how warm these waters are. Only the vertical wind shear could be the save and grace to the system that prevents it from strengthening very quickly. Boy, luckily this is not September or early October because this would be a different situation. Upper ocean heat content anomalies are just through the roof right now. Dark reds and purples here. Look at off the charts over here, literally to the southeast, to the southwest of Jamaica. That is a lot of upper ocean heat content for this time of the year for that area. A lot of upper ocean heat content. So now, looking at the ship's guidance, this stands for Statistical Hurricane Intensity Prediction Scheme. I know it's a long word. It's an acronym, right? So right now, the maximum climax potential intensity here is right around 165 to 170 knots. That's about almost 200 miles an hour. Vertical wind shear is right around 15 knots. So it's not preventable what's the word am I looking for? Preventable. There's another word that I'm trying to sniff out here, but it is not preventable at strengthening the system. There will be some shear, but it should be low enough to destroy the system entirely. And of course, sea surface temperatures right around 30 to 31 Celsius. That is ridiculous. And then your deep layer moisture plot very high through the next 4 to 5 days. Without a doubt, I think this is going to be a system that is going to cause a lot of problems, I believe. From very heavy rainfall to surf to coastal impacts to landslide problems with this type of system. All right. Therefore, because of the concerning aspect to all of this, the National Hurricane Center is not done tracking hurricane season this year, and they are sending out many aircraft, possibly a tail Doppler radar mission for not tomorrow, but for the next day. This would be for potentially the 22nd and the 23rd of October. They could be sending out the tail Doppler radar mission into the system as well. So we are going to get new, fresh data into our models from these low-level reconnaissance missions. Tongue twister for me there, or mouth twister. Okay, so that's kind of the plan of day on this system. Before I get to questions, everybody, I want to give you all a very, very huge thank you to a lot of you that have supported the channel so far the last few months here, not only just with hurricane season, but also with my recent release of my last 2 seasonal snowfall forecasts. Those have generated over 200,000 views. One has almost 400,000 views. So I want to give you guys a huge thank you for sharing that with your family and friends on social media. That I had to put a lot of work into that. I really did. The snowfall map was not easy to make, and I am just blessed. I really am, because I spent an entire month making that snowfall map. I literally did. And since, of course, it is out on YouTube, you can literally see really quickly. I know we are supposed to talk about the tropics, but I wanted to show you all just how finite. Oh, and it's not here. Where is it? It's not here. All right. Well, I'm not going to mess with it. So yeah, it was stressful to put together. I had to script it out and everything like that. For next year, please include Canada. I am going to try to include Canada with the snowfall forecast. I saw a lot of people leaving comments about that, saying you did not talk about Canada one single bit. You did not talk about Alaska. The maps that I get are from trilogymaps.com, and I don't think they have maps for those areas. If they do, then I will be able to. I will make it happen next year. Do they? Oh, they do have an Alaska map. Do they have a Canadian map, though? See, no, they don't. They don't have a Canadian map at all. Or they have a North America one, but they don't have a Canadian map at all. So that's the problem there. That's the issue, is that there's no Canadian map. I could use the North America map, but because of the overlay that I used to make it, it is extremely difficult to put it onto a flat map. Okay, here it is. Where are we? Okay, I think it's this one. Okay, there we go. I think this is the one. Also, I want to thank you all for subscribing too. We are close to 60,000 subscribers, people. 60,000 subscribers. I can't even believe it. For a lot of you that are watching. 50,000 or 60,000. 60,000. Crazy stuff. Crazy. Maybe I will get to 70,000 by the end of the year. Oh my goodness. 70,000 would be a big goal that was set by Easy. Easy peasy lemon squeezy set that goal up. But yeah, here are the ensembles right here. This is really, really bad. If either scenario 1 or scenario 2 sets up, there's a lot of major hurricanes, and some of those are way down there into the 920s. So this is the magic right here. So you can see all of the layers that I literally had to use. I know I'm adding cities to this, by the way, for next year, but it's a lot of work. It literally is. Look at all of like this right here. So we go to our snowfall. This is basically the whole finished product, of course. And some of you were asking that I'm too bullish in some areas. Again, this is based on the last couple of years of historical snowfall data, as well as future projections of snowfall this year based on what I'm thinking is going to happen. So it's not going to be 100% accurate, but it is the best we can do. Okay, it is the best we can do right now. Because without an overlay, this would be nearly impossible to do. It would be extremely, extremely difficult to put this all together. This is only a little bit of it. Next year, I am planning to make it even more high resolution than what it already is now. So next year, I'm probably going to spend a month or two on that forecast. So some of you, and of course, some comments were saying, oh, my area averages 40 feet of snow, but you only include 20 feet of snow, right? Well, that's a very small area, okay? So it's more broad in nature when it comes to how much snowfall you're exactly gonna get. I missed some of the valleys. Some of the valleys, I'm overestimating snowfall there. That's because of the whole way it was rendered and everything. And it was extremely, extremely time consuming in a way to put that all in because I was kind of on a deadline for this. I really was. The deadline was to get it done before the 15th, so I don't drag this on further. So that's somewhat why the map is a little off by a little bit, but hey, compared to the first one, it's a little more high resolution, right? We could all agree on that, right? Next year, it's going to be far better. It's going to be far better to the point where you won't even see your exact snowfall forecast, because it's going to be like super duper high resolution. You're like, holy cow, this guy does so high resolution. I always look at it this way: care for the drawing and artistry, and don't really think too much into exactly how much snowfall you're going to get. Because at the end of the day, I put so much work into that. I literally did. Nate, dude, you finally woke up. I haven't heard from you in about a month. Where have you been? By the way, if you all are new to the channel and you have not been here before, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We are absolutely close to 60,000. 60,000, folks. Incredible stuff. Incredible. And boy, oh boy, wait until you see what I have planned for the winter season. And I'm not just saying that for ego, for anything. I've got a lot more maps to make, a lot more graphics to make. Yeah, you just saw a little bit of that right here. Let me actually show you all really quickly. Yeah, this is a little bit of it right here. See this little puppy right here? See this little puppy right here? Did you just hear me? Or did you not hear me? Yeah, see this little puppa? Yeah, this is my graphics that I'm working on for my weather maps that I will be presenting. I'm trying something a little bit different for next year, where I'm going to use more of PowerPoint presentations for this kind of stuff. I'm going to make my own model in a way, not really, but like I'm going to draw exactly where I think the heaviest rainfall will probably will more likely. Well, actually, I kind of gave it away here. I'm going to use the GFS, some weather modeling, to put this all together. And this is the graphics. And it's not just me doing this. I have a friend out of Northern California that is helping me with this project. So it's a lot of work. Now, all the cities here, I'm going to be adding way more cities to this. There is going to be a lot of cities. You guys are going to like wonder like, whoa, he has too many cities on the map. Yeah, I'm going to be adding way more cities to this on top of a nice, good graphic that you all are going to enjoy a lot. So there is a lot more work that I have to put into this, though, just so much. And I'm going to start working on that a little bit tonight. It's going to be a 1.5 month long project, and I'm really hoping, pray to the Lord, I can have it all done by at least the early to the middle of December. That's what happens when you get big on YouTube, right? When you get big, you have to improve your production. It's all right, Nate. Just, I don't want to lose you. You know, I don't want to lose you as a great friend. We got to know each other, and all of a sudden you just kind of vanished. I was like, hopefully I didn't push him away. What are the Florida impacts, in my opinion, on this system? Right now, there's not much Florida impacts. I am actually not worried about Florida right now. You guys are probably like, why? Why are you not worried about Florida? Well, because I'm not worried about Florida. That's why. So looking at the latest GFS model right now, can I get even? Okay, I can get closer. There we go. So the latest GFS model really does like the idea that the system is going to be over here. So, and it has trended a little slower. So that is something that we were going to need to watch from the Euro. Because the GFS model has been very consistent at that. Very consistent. And the system's a little further west here once it emerges off of Hispaniola. But that is a really bad scenario because there's going to be a lot of rainfall that falls. A lot of rainfall. So that's the GFS right there. Oh, okay. Just making sure, buddy. Do you think it's going to do a Hurricane Michelle? Let's see Hurricane Michelle. Hurricane Michelle. Category 4. Well, the system's starting down here. And it's going to be doing something like that somewhere rather, or kind of like that. In some sense, yes. But it's going to be much further east in this case. But yeah, you can see how quick Michelle exploded over the Northwestern Caribbean. You can see that right there. It really exploded very quickly. And that is why do not turn your back. Hey, that was in late October also. So we do know for a fact, historically, we have had big hurricanes in late October into early November. This one was rather short-lived though, but wow, was it ever intense. It was a big-time hurricane. Also, after the live stream, folks, be sure to check out my winter or seasonal snowfall forecast if you haven't already. Again, it's not, I'll kind of divulge the secret here. It's not 1 billion% accurate. No one's accurate out there when it comes to the weather. No one could be 100% accurate. Invest 98L is looking for trouble. Pretty much. That's where it comes down to at the moment. Let's see what our Canadian model is showing. Okay, our Canadian model is just rendering. Man, the initialization on that is a lot tighter. And that is a very sharp wave envelope that the model is picking up on. By the way, how do you all like the background? Why is your channel growing so fast and not mine? Well, Tashawn, I cannot give you the answer on that one. It's just luck. It's just luck. Well, you're not uploading very often. That's why. The last video you uploaded was 2 months ago. That explains a lot. When you don't upload every day, you don't grow. So, exactly why. Thank you so much. Glad you guys like the background. Check that out. That's my new style. I had the lights off for a while because it just would heat up my room. But now we're into the fall months where it is actually cooling off nicely. It's already 53 degrees outside here. 53 degrees. It is going to get down into the low, probably even in the mid 40s. Last night it got into the upper 40s, but I think tonight it's going to get colder because we have some drier air that has moved in. Which is nice because for once I was able to put away all the fans. all the fans. I was able to clean my room a little bit. Because, man, those fans took up a little bit of space. I am glad summer is over, I'll tell ya. Let's see what our GFS is doing. Okay, looks like it is going pretty much where I thought it was going to go. It's going to turn out. That's pretty much going to curve out like this. Going to do something like that. At least on this model. How does it look for Jamaica? Right now on the GFS, it looks pretty good. Yeah, you're avoiding most of the issues right here on this model. You could get, I mean, some upslope flow. You can get maybe 2 or 3 inches of rainfall. But it does not look as significant as what the European model showed. Actually, if I show you the European model right now, the 12Z output, I think I did show you all that. Or no, I didn't. That's what the European model shows. That's exactly what it actually indicates. The GFS, very nice to Jamaica. The Euro, not so much. CMC is also showing a Jamaica landfall. What? The minute that I take my eyes off of that, it's... Where do you see that? Where do you see that? Astro. We're 12Z. Okay. Yeah, the 12Z. I'm already aware of that. Yep. That's old data though. I'm waiting for the 0Z to come in. The Canadian is further south on this. So it is not agreeing with the GFS. It is not agreeing at all to the GFS by any means. I mean, come on. Look at the difference with this. Look at the difference that the timing makes. 27 hours out. There's a center on the Canadian model. Here is the GFS. Same time frame. That is your problem right there. That is a problem. 27 hours out. You cannot get timing correctly at all. So I do not even know if the GFS is right or the Canadian is right. That is going to be important. Really. We're going to really watch this, though. We have to pay attention. My weather channel is called Tishan Storm Tracking. Oh, nice. But the secret to growing on YouTube is just upload. Just upload weather or upload what you're most good at. That's all you have to do. Like, let me ask you all this question. What are you most good at when it comes to your hobbies? What are you most good at? Be honest. Be honest with me. And if you're good at that, maybe get some ideas and try starting your channel. You know? If you're good at what you do, do it. Should Southeast Florida watch this, you think? Man, see, I don't want to say yes and you guys start freaking out. I would say no. At this point, I would not. I would monitor it. That's a better word to use. Monitor it. Don't watch it yet. Just monitor its progress. That's what you need to do. I would not be concerned at all if I were in central or southeastern Florida, because literally there's no model members from the European ensemble. Even from the GEFS and the DeepMind AI models. This watch is making my wrist itch. Ouch. Take that off for a bit. Ouch. It's almost my birthday. Oh, when's your birthday, Tashawn? I forgot. I forgot when your birthday is. I think it's coming up, though, next week sometime, or it's in November. See, I can't remember everybody's birthday. I'm sorry if I can't remember that. Oh, that's right. It's a day before mine. Yeah, it's coming up in a while. Okay, so looks like the Canadian model is a bit further east, but stronger. That's the important thing. It is stronger on this model run. It's exactly where the 18Z Euro had it pretty much too. So really in this area, in this little whiskey plot box, is where we're watching where we think it's going to possibly go. Mine is the 19th. Oh, of November. Nice. Less than a month away. The Western track is what has me questioning if it will affect Florida. Well, of course. Of course. George. Of course, I would be questioning too, because if it goes further west, then it makes that turn to the north, then that puts Florida in play. So I would understand why you're a little fidgety on it. Yeah. But yeah, long story short, this system is definitely showing itself tonight. It really is. Yeah, there's a decent mid-level circulation as well. There is definitely a mid-level circulation. It's really, really hard to tell if it's closed or not. Zero Z Canadian model, right when I take my eyes off the thing. So you must be using Tropical Tidbits and some forecasting model that's ahead of mine. Let's see. No, it's not. Oh, yes. Right over Jamaica. Right over Jamaica in about 84 hours. It's further to the east, though, but it is over Jamaica. It is over Jamaica by Friday morning. So it is not strong either, though. It's only down to 998 millibars. So that is not a very strong system. Yes, I'm live, Heidi, with almost 58,100 subscribers. Man, golly word, I've grown. I'm hitting a growth spurt, it looks like. Here comes another growth spurt. We're only 25 subscribers away from 58.1, by the way. So thank you all for subscribing. And boy, I cannot wait for winter season. I am about done with the tropics. I am about done with the tropics. I am. And cannot wait for winter time. It's always fun to track snowstorms, how they develop. That energy, cyclonic energy. You'll get the magnitude of rainfall. Yeah, wow. That is a lot of rainfall. 12 to 16 inches of rainfall just to the east of Jamaica, or right on literally like, man, along the coast. Oh, okay, hold on. I thought I was going backward for a second. Dude, no, I saw that right. It is actually bouncing off of Jamaica. Do you see that? That is crazy. It literally hits Jamaica. It literally hits Jamaica and goes west. Oh my gosh. Seriously. What in the name? Man, that really has uptrended. That really has uptrended right over Jamaica with that vorticity plot. You can see the last few model runs really has trended right over Jamaica by Friday morning. Friday morning time frame is very nasty. Will this hit the Cayman Islands? Right now, there's a lot of uncertainty on that. If it does, it could be quite strong, especially if it stalls and goes and stays further offshore from the islands of Jamaica and the Hispaniola, and then it drifts westward. Then it could find itself in a better environment for strengthening. So yeah, boy, beautiful. 3, 4, 5. I would watch this for sure. Yes. Definitely monitor the latest model runs. Man, the GFS is pretty darn slow with it, though. Pretty slow. Slow poke. Yeah, there it goes. Look at that. Stalls. It literally just sits there. Is the Canadian trying to snorf up something bigger or what? Hopefully not bigger. Hopefully not. Man, the weather bell is way behind on its rendering cycle. Yeah, based on what it looks, Jamaica, you're about to deal with a couple of feet of rainfall. Man, it just does not stop raining there. Wow. So the Canadian is not with the GFS by any means at all. Not with the GFS. Cayman Islands. Oh, okay. I'm from Trilami 2. It's probably in Jamaica, I'm guessing, or the Cayman Islands. Shows it's a stall out system for Jamaica. Yes. Oh, yeah, the Canadian model. What are you doing? What are you doing? Look at this. Boom. it literally hits Jamaica and then goes boom, and it's now trying to hit this area. This is going to be a very entertaining model run. I mean, it's probably going to hit here and then it's going to turn back up and go up like that. That's a distinct possibility, though. It really is. This is one crazy system. It is going to be a headache for a while, too. It really is. Because I have freaking Halloween plans coming up for the middle of, or for the early part of next week. And we're dealing with a system. It could not come at a worser time, honestly. The islands are reacting like mirrors. Yeah. At this point, it's like, pinball. It hits one object and it wants to bounce and hit another one. That's kind of what this is replicating. Only it's a pinball of death, depending on where the pinball actually moves over. Oh my gosh, you're funny, Richard. Melissa is a naughty girl. I agree with that. Don't be a naughty girl. That's what it is. It's a naughty girl. Bad girls, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? I made up one of the craziest songs today. You guys want to hear it? Literally, while I was just sitting and waiting to stream and I was watching my sub number because I was like so close to 58,000. I was like saying, 5 more left, 5 more left. You are so close to 58,000. 5 more left, 5 more left. You are so close to 58,000. I don't know how good of a song that is, but that just got stuck in my mind. Once it entered my brain, I was just like, man, I cannot get that out of my brain. Oh, you're funny, Heidi. I can sing the song now. 20 more left. 20 more left. We are so close to 58,000. See, it doesn't go well with 100s. It does not. But you get the idea. We are truly 20 more left. By the way, I do sing on stage at church on Sundays, so don't make fun of my voice when I sing. Yeah, I do. What is a CMC doing? Playing with the storm? Yeah, that's what it looks like. It really likes that scenario, though, I'll tell you. It likes the fact that it wants to hit Jamaica and it wants to pinwheel down there and then explode. Yo, I have not seen the Canadian model, the 12Z forecast, when it finished. Or did I not? Maybe I did. Hold on a second. Crap, I thought this thing was going to disintegrate. Whoa, no, I was wrong. No, I was actually wrong. I didn't even include that in my video when I talked about the CMC model. That is crazy. Man, that is close to Florida. Actually, you know what? Some of you were saying that could Southeast Florida get impacted? I can see why now. Man, that is pretty close to Miami with that inflow, northerly flow right there. Look at the EPS after this. Yeah, I will. Man, this is going to be a galloping storm, literally. That is some strong wind right here on the backside. Wow. That is a big storm system. Yeah, look at the size of that storm right there. That is huge. Man, it's like Aaron again, 2.0, but not as strong as Aaron. Hopefully not as strong as Aaron. Man, I missed that in my video. I can't believe I did. Because that is pretty darn strong right over the Bahamas right there. So I will give you all a round of applause. Some of you that were asking, could Southeast Florida get impacted? After seeing this model, there's a distinct possibility now. There's a distinct possibility. Given our ensemble models that want it over there, and it lines up very well with the EPS. It really does. Yeah, I'm a little bit on edge. I am a little bit on edge on that one. Actually, let me see what the Canadian ensemble is showing. Yeah, there are some members that clip the coast. There are some members that do clip the coast right there. Wow, okay. Yeah, so but the ensembles, okay, so the European ensemble here, while it shifted further to the east, but we saw the spaghetti plot had tracks doing all like this kind of, so yeah, it's gonna be interesting. We're gonna need to really watch that Canadian once it's done rendering. Because now I'm starting to wonder if it's gonna show the same scenario again. It is definitely stronger and further to the east. So maybe it slingshots and goes out like that now. Maybe a little further east than the previous run. Man, the rainfall product has not updated. But I'll tell you though, Jamaica is not getting a break from that heavy rainfall. That is just, it's just like a fire hose aimed at Jamaica. Yeah, you may not be worried about so much wind, but you're probably going to have to worry a ton more about the rainfall. On this run, once it starts, it's not going to stop. At least for some locations. Now, for some locations, it might just go for a full 4, 5, or even 6 days. Recent ASCAT showed no closed circulation yet. Oh, really? Let's see. Was there a new ASCAT pass? Was there really a new ASCAT pass? Let's go look at that. No. Okay. Wow. Okay. So this. Well, you know what? They got half of the storm. So this is an ASCAT pass, a satellite derived wind data imagery. It's very hard to tell. Let me zoom in so you guys can see this. So we got wind here. We got wind here. It is very sharp. It is very sharp in this general region. And so we're looking at winds that are doing this more than likely. We're seeing winds that are being pulled in like this. This is very sharp. This is an extremely sharp wave envelope right here. Very sharp. Not close, but it is trying to. It is really not, it's not far from closing off. And winds are maintaining at about 30 knots. There are some wind barbs here that show that. So that is pretty darn close. With the best area or with the best estimate of the circulation somewhere down in here. So now it comes down to where is the circulation? Okay, so we see at 01 Zulu, right? That's or about 02 Zulu, the drive data. This will be probably put into the 06Z GFS model runs and some other global models overnight tonight. Is whether or not is the circulation further south than what was initialized. Huh? No one thought about that, didn't ya? Well, we're actually going to dig a little deep into this because that is very important. All right. Someone in the chat, mark down right now. Yeah, so mark down 03 Zulu. We'll round it up. 03 Zulu. Okay. And the system initialized. Actually, let's do the GFS because the GFS is typically, in theory, a little more accurate. So we need to locate this. Let's go back right there. 02 Zulu. There's our low. Right there is where we think the center is. So it is south of 15 degrees north in latitude. Let's go back to here. I cannot tell if it's much further south. Here is 15 degrees north in latitude right here. And there is our circulation. So 70 west. It's very hard to say. Someone's going to have to help me. If it's actually further south, if this is further south than what the GFS model shows, because if it is, then the GFS is an outlier. It could be an outlier. When is my next winter forecast coming out? Hopefully in early November sometime. We have to get through this tropical system first. I mean, things that I was working on are being put on hold because of this system. Again, because I hate to say it, winter is extremely important. I know I feel that because honestly, I'm ready for winter, but this is much more life-threatening situation here that could be unfolding over the next 7 days versus a winter forecast. Don't worry. I did not forget about the my winter forecast that I will be releasing hopefully in November, early November sometime. Actually, the Canadian is a lot further north on this. Actually, it wouldn't matter if it's further north or not because Canadian wants the system strong anyhow. Dude, it's not. Oh my gosh, this is going north. Look at this. Man, it's stronger. Wow, way stronger. Dang, yeah, that is a lot stronger. Man, oh, living. Yep, that's a lot stronger. That is a lot stronger. I see a replacement further south. Hey. As a Florida flood insurance adjuster, this is very interesting. What's up? A buddy 6217. How's everything? Oh, I understand. Well, that 4 feet of snow, you know, Heidi, is over the entire winter season. Not some of you. I said it at the beginning of my video, or did I not? Of my snow forecast is that It runs from the posted date of the video. So from the 16th of October through the 1st of May, okay? It's some, because I saw some comments saying that, dude, if I'm gonna get 5 feet of snow just with one storm, this is incorrect. No, it's throughout the fall, winter, spring season. Okay. CMC showing another potential tropical storm or tropical storm in the subtropics. What? What? Where? Where do you see that? Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. Right over here. This probably is what you're referring to. I don't know if you're referring to that. But hey, that's in the middle of the water. I'm not, well, that's close to the Azores. But everybody, including myself, is watching this little puppy over here. Yeah, this is a little further to the east than the previous run. I got to go to work, man. Wow, you must work at night, overnight, probably night cruise somewhere. Is that going right over the Caymans? I hate to say it. The answer to that is yes. Yep, it's going right over the Cayman Islands in 7 days. In 7 days. And Jamaica still getting clobbered with heavy rainfall. Man, the rainfall forecast has not come out yet, though. But my goodness, Jamaica is just not going to get a break from all that rainfall. Golly, word, that Canadian model really spins that sucker up. What is most likely to happen? I don't know. I hate to say it, but right now, I would say the system is going to do something like this, recurve out, but I am not going to have a solid forecast. This is extremely complicated because you have the ridge over here in the low levels. You have another weak ridge over here that's not as dominant. This one's over here is more dominant. You got a ridge up here that's more that is also in place. So this system is just not. It's just in very weak steering currents. That's what's going on right here. So. See how much rainfall Jamaica gets. Parts of Jamaica, wow, southern Jamaica could get 40 inches of rainfall. Hopefully that's wrong, though. I think it's an outlier. It's a little too aggressive, but hey, it is possible with a wet storm like this. It is very much possible. Come on, Canadian model, go faster. By the way, if you have not been here before, folks, and you like the content that you're seeing, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and share this video with or live stream with their family and friends on social media. Get this out to a lot of people because we are going to be on top of this for a while. I mean, a while is in days. We'll be on this for about another week or longer. Oh, come on, Canadian. Hurry the butt up. 962 millibars. Yep, this is stronger. 962 millibars at landfall over central Cuba. Over central Cuba makes landfall at 962 millibars. That is a few millibars deeper than the previous run. And that is a lot of rainfall over Cuba. And here's a little bit of a trough that gets involved. That will be interesting, Baroclinic interaction. There's your system. This ridge tries to build a little bit more. This is going to get yanked. Could go north briefly. And that does not take long to get over Cuba as well. That does not take much longer. And that is not moving very much in 7 days, though. What's up? Thank you. Insurance adjuster. Something with insurance adjuster. Thank you for subscribing. I do appreciate that. Hello from Orlando, Florida. And I did get that subscription, so we are 10 subscribers away now from our hyper mini milestone. It's not a milestone at all. Just another stage up, you know? I also just got reports of winds of 45 miles an hour in the Windward Islands. Wait, where did you get that report from? Go look at observations. Hey, by the way, my station is right here. So if y'all want to view that on the National Weather Service map, yep, it goes to the National Weather Service. Been doing that for a few years now, so that's great. I do not see any reports of gusts of 45 miles an hour at all. I see a 27, but I don't see a 45. Okay. Dang, this is much slower. Oh, wait, is it? Or wait, hold on a second. Wow, it is slower. Or no, it's faster. Never mind. What am I thinking? It's faster, not slower. Man, look at that Baroclinic interaction. Look at that Baroclinic. Beautiful storm. Beautiful interaction right here. There is your PVU streamer coming down, scuffing underneath that system. Man, this is going to be a big storm if it undergoes Baroclinic ascent like this. Right front quadrant entering that jet streak. Wow, this is going to be a big system if it does that. Because anytime you get a system moving into this jet right here, there is thermal wind gradient profile that is involved, so that you get colder air coming on the backside of this trough, and then you get lots of warmer air out ahead. You're going to see some baroclinic interaction right here with this trough, and that's going to really broaden the wind field big time. You look how big that wind field gets. Man, this is big. Hurricane force winds on this side, but even some hurricane force winds here showing up in the low level wind field over the Carolinas on the Canadian. Thank you for subscribing, Kevin Barty. I do appreciate it. Man, we're 2 subs away. Where did that come from? We were like 20 subs away, so now we're 2. Thank you guys for subscribing. Boy, we are close to 60,000. I cannot believe it. I even have to ask myself, am I really at 60, almost 60,000 subs? Because I've grown so fast. Honestly, here I'm not even here happy for it. I'm just blessed, is what I feel like. I'm just very thrilled that, you know, people love me and I love you guys. Congratulations in advance. What? You said congratulations in advance for what reason, though? No, I'm just kidding. That's Baroclinic interaction for you all. Yeah. Baroclinic interaction right there. And honestly, I don't want to sound like this is cool. It is not cool. It really isn't. But when it comes to fluid dynamics, I love that transition. I love that baroclinic leaf. You don't know what a baroclinic leaf is? That's when you get the cloud, like the laminar clouds to the north of the warm front, and that kind of scuffs underneath. This, I'll actually show you all really quick. That's what I love about baroclinic transition of storms like this. We go back here, like this right here. Wait, hold on. Let me take the wind off here for a second. There we go. See this right here? Let me show you all. This is in the North Pacific, by the way. See this? That is a baroclinic leaf right there. That is beautiful when it comes to looking at it from a meteorological perspective, because what you're getting is a lot of cold air rushing in from the north. You get a steam jet on the backside of this. You get the cold front. You get an actual warm front that develops, and this is where you have your baroclinic ascent in the right front quadrant of a jet, and the left exit region of a very strong jet that comes in, a jet streak, and that's what really deepens these systems very explosively. So much so that you can even see it here when this was all going on. Which, by the way, this was a 100 mile an hour. How would you say it? A cyclone, a high latitude cyclone. You can even see the spray. Look at the spray on the backside of that. That is right there what a baroclinic transitioning cyclone looks like. Literally. Nice, good steam jet on this. Man, if I could make a whole entire video or a discussion on this, I would go into a lot of detail. You can even see right here, there's your steam jet right on the backside of that clear slot. That goes to show you. And that's what we might be seeing with our system on the Canadian model if it does that. If it undergoes that baroclinic transition, lots of cold air coming in on the backside of that. Man, that is energetic. I always tell people, doesn't look strong until you're in it, because that is a strong system that happened in the North Central Pacific not long ago. But yeah, looking at the Canadian, you bet this is going to make a lot of Twitter feed. That is a mighty, mighty powerful storm right there. That is 68 knot winds. 68 knot winds right there in 10 days. Look at that. That is very strong. Oh yeah, look at this. Look at this interaction. There's your trough into the upper Midwest. Nice, good left exit region of the flow up here to the north. Good jet streak interacting with the system. That is why we have a strong developing system here on the Canadian. I don't see snow. Wait, no, this doesn't show snow. Doesn't look like it's gonna snow though because it's too warm. The thickness heights are not there. Look at this trough though that comes in retrograde though. Man, that interaction. That is what I love about weather right there. That's what I love. The two systems interacting with each other. Any questions, anybody? Any questions you guys might have at all? Actually, that might not really be. That actually might be subtropical in nature still because of the rainfall that's pretty heavy in a convective band. So that might still be somewhat tropical. But wow, that is a deep, deep trough in the southeast. Why are all the storms this year recurving out to sea like this? It's just the pattern that we're in. It's just the pattern that we're in. We have been pretty much stuck in this pattern where these, well, and also the time of the year. Okay, it's the time of the year that we're in that makes this happen, right? October, you're not going to get a system slingshotting into the northeast unless you get a trough like this. So this upper level low right here, depending on where it's at, you get this upper level ridge to the north. So you got a low underneath a high and then another high over here. The system is going to want to pinwheel around. It's going to want to try to get yanked around this upper level low here in the southeast. So that is why the Canadian model has that track right there. It has it trying to get rammed into the northeast. Is a Florida landfall still possible? Right now, there's a 1% chance that there's a landfall in Florida. But I just don't think at this point until we get closer, because I don't want to say, yes, there's going to be a landfall in southern Florida and everybody panics and freaks out. No. It is way too early to tell, way too soon to even make speculations on that. In a situation like this, I know people are probably frustrated the fact that we don't know where this is going. I feel the same way, and it's just the steering flow. This is not a pattern that is ideal for this system to kind of continue going west, and we know where it's going to go. It's going to hit the brakes. It's hitting the brakes right now, and it's going to stall potentially, and it's going to be moving slowly. It is very annoying because instead of tracking this maybe for 5 or 6 days, we may be tracking this for 10 days. I agree with you on that. It's been difficult. It really has, and I don't see that going away anytime soon. But the only thing I guess there's some good news. I don't know if you call it good news or bad news, whatever news it is. at least we have a bit more better predictability on our intensity forecast. So at least we can say that, okay, this is probably going to become a hurricane or even a category 2 hurricane towards the very end of the 5-day forecast. There is a slim possibility of that occurring, but the track forecast is where is what is messing this all up. It really is. So yeah, let's go back to here and show you guys. Oops. There we go. So Puerto Rico on the Canadian model, it doesn't really bring a whole lot there. You do get a little bit of rainfall, but more kind of your typical, right? So if we go to the 7-day precipitation anomaly, it's pretty much average. It's nothing unusual over the next 7 or 8 days. You could see about an inch or two of rainfall. But it is, and that's on the Canadian. The Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Cuba, the Cayman Islands are the areas that I'm really concerned about for this system to possibly ram into the islands. The GFS model is a completely different story for Puerto Rico. And on this run, you don't end up getting 1 or 2 inches of rain, and you end up getting perhaps maybe up to 10 or 11 inches of rainfall in about 7 days. So that would be a really big problem for a lot of flooding, for some debris flows in the steepest terrain, and the potential for landslides, rock slides, and coastal impacts such as flooding, high surf, that sort of thing. If you are on Puerto Rico, some of the U.S. British Virgin Islands, and of course, right in smack dab, the Dominican Republic, getting a lot of rainfall if the GFS model continues to verify like this, continues to show this. Since the environment near Cuba is pretty favorable. Yeah, down the road, yeah. Yes, sir, I have a question. Is there a possibility that the storm gets over to Tampa and stalls? Right now, the chances of that occurring are pretty slim. I do not see a storm stalling over Tampa, Florida. Okay, at the moment. There's no scenario, there's no models that indicate that right now. Pretty much everything is pretty much east of, well, let me draw that again, is pretty much east of this black line that I drew up. Okay, so pretty much anything in this area, well, that's too big of a, gosh. So I'm just going to broadly circle it in. Right in here is pretty much the area that we'll need to watch, okay, for this system to either kind of turn it out like this or do something like this and kind of go out like that. Should Jamaica be worried? I live in Jamaica. Yeah, I would be a bit concerned right now. Yes, I would definitely be watching, getting the latest information from my YouTube channel here because I'll be updating every day on this, along to go with the National Hurricane Center and your local officials. Absolutely. I would be definitely concerned. Worried is going a little too far. I would be on the lookout. I would be watching, and I would be a little concerned. Yes. I need to be careful with what I say here because there is a lot of people watching this live stream right now. But yeah, I would definitely be watching your TV and watching the forecast for the latest for sure. The countries should be making warnings soon, right? TFAB is T2.5. So that was, wow, 2.5. That's a tropical storm then, intensity, or somewhere very close to that. Again, the reason why it is not a tropical depression is it's not closed circulation yet. So I'm going to make this a whiteboard. So you're going to just see all white on the screen, but I'm going to unselect it to make sure you guys can see it because I won't be able to see chat at all. Okay, hold on. So that way I can actually explain what a closed surface low is versus an open wave trough. Okay, to get to that question. All right, can you guys see the white screen? Can you see all of this? Can you all see that? Let me know in chat right away, please. Can you guys see the white screen for a second? Yes. Yes. Perfect. Okay. So we're gonna go back to the white screen, doodle daddle, and we're gonna draw this up. So what an open wave is. So basically, your flow is kind of like this, right? So your trade winds. Actually, let me get my arrow because that's a bit better. So basically, your flow, your trade winds do this, right? They kind of come around that high pressure. They just kind of blow in from the northeast and whatnot. But then, actually, oops, hold on. Let me make sure that doesn't go off. Okay. So, but then as you get your trade winds, they will kind of get deflected around like this. So basically, what you end up seeing is a wave pocket that looks kind of like that. You know, it's very sharp, but it is not closed yet. So your wave pocket is oriented from northeast to southwest, right? So your flow is going to be coming in out of the southwesterly direction and curve around. So up here to the north of this, you typically get your strongest vorticity right in here. So I'm going to draw that in a magenta color. So your strongest spin is up here on the northern wave axis. That's why we typically look at the northern side of the wave pocket for a closed circulation versus something down here. However, though, what might end up happening sometimes is if the wave pocket slows down. So see here, oh, let me get my black pen. So your trade winds still do this, right? They'll do this. But sometimes you get flow that kind of does this, right? It's kind of somewhat elongated, but it is still declared as a closed low, right? Because there's westerly winds here mainly. So what you end up seeing is a closed low. So we can mark a depression on that, and your flow will return as usual, way out ahead of the wave. So you'll get your trade winds that look pretty much like this, while your trade winds on the backside will do something like this. So here, this would be considered a tropical depression if there's a lot of thunderstorms, a lot of persistence of those thunderstorms. And that's how you get a depression that forms. So when you hear the term tropical depression from the National Hurricane Center, it's another way of saying that the low is closed. We have westerly winds on the southern side of the wave pocket, and we have now a fully consolidated area of low pressure that spins up into something, into a tropical storm, or if not a hurricane once it gets stronger. Okay, so that's what that basically illustrates. So if we go back and look at the model again, here we go. Let's go back here. This right here, no, it's hard to tell. Actually, let's use a Canadian. Canadian does it. Yeah, we'll use a Canadian. So here's a Canadian. This is not closed. This is a tropical wave. But then it closes up right about in here. Even so, your winds haven't picked up, it has closed up. So now we have a tropical depression here. It just kind of sits there, remains closed, of course, and then it comes back out into the past Jamaica. Gets stronger and stronger, and then it becomes a very strong bona fide system with perhaps 100-mile-an-hour winds over Cuba before it exits. See that? Follow me on that? So that's what we're dealing with. See what it looks like here. Oh, yeah. Man, look at those winds along the northeast coast. That is 70-mile-an-hour winds. So that's basically what a depression versus a tropical wave actually is. Right now, it's a wave, not a tropical depression. I know it's two different things, but they mean almost the same thing. Even this is close to forming, there is still a lot of uncertainty. Exactly. There is still a lot of uncertainty. That doesn't really change much. I mean, if it's a tropical depression tonight, it's not going to mean much. It really isn't. The only difference is you're going to see a cone of uncertainty from the National Hurricane Center, and I can place my bets on this. Hold it up to me, folks, that the cone of uncertainty is going to probably look something like that. It is going to be, actually, it might even be bigger than this. It might look something, that's not a good way to draw it. Might look still not a good way, because they always go in a circle. So it might look, can I draw better? It might look like something like this. It might be really big, where we have a lot of uncertainty. So, yeah, it shows it getting flung to the northeast. Yes, along the eastern seaboard. Yeah, there is a very slim possibility. I don't think this is going to pan out, because this would be a really big, 84-mile-an-hour storm. That is a strong system. That's what the Canadian model is showing. So, the storm needs to threaten nobody but fish. Well, I think it's too late for that, unfortunately, to Sean Gaming Channel. Watching from Jamaica. A lot of people watching from Jamaica. If you're watching from Jamaica, please subscribe to the channel. Hit all notifications to get the latest up-to-date forecast on this system. If I get a lot of subs, we know you're watching from Jamaica. Will this be a Category 5 at landfall in Greenland? Oh my gosh. That is bluntly crazy. No. It is not going to be a Category 5 at landfall in Greenland. That is way up there in very high latitudes. So we are going to wait for the, man, I need to get to, not really get to bed, but man, I need to work. Yeah, I can get to bed early tonight. But I got another hour or two. Watching from Jamaica. Quite nervous about this storm. Oh, yeah. I would hope you're a bit nervous. Yeah, Jamaica is, I wish there was a sector that would show. Yeah, how is there not there's a Puerto Rico, but there's not a Jamaica sector? That is unfortunate. I wish there was a Jamaica sector on Weatherbell, but there isn't. See if our hurricane models have come in yet, if they're starting. Yep, they are starting. Let's see what these models actually show. Dang, this is stronger. Man, really? Really, Havze? You're showing it stronger. Halves B is a little weaker. The halves A is pretty on. It's a very small mesocyclone. But even so, this is not closed. You can see what we're looking for here. See, your flow is still doing this, then it kind of comes like this, and then it kind of does this. This is still open. This is not a closed low yet. Boy, it's 1 a.m. where I'm at. Well, you're on the East Coast. That's why. I think it should go potential tropical cyclone. Yeah, I think they should. There is very high confidence that it is going to get, it's going to earn something. But I'm not the National Hurricane Center. That's up to the NHC to make that decision. Yeah, look at this. Look at what they're saying about this system too. I want to really highlight this. I even got to use this in my future YouTube videos. Right here. There is significant uncertainty in the eventual track and intensity of the system right here. This goes to show you. This goes to show you significant uncertainty. I'm going to really highlight that right there. A lot of uncertainty on the system. That's as of 2 p.m. though. So this is not really outdated, but kind of goes to show you the same thing. There's a lot of uncertainty. And by the way, the 7-day formation chance is pretty darn small too. So that goes to show you that it's not moving very much between here and here in 7 days. It literally is going to crawl. It's going to crawl on the floor very slow. There is definitely a mid-level circulation, though, on this. There is very, very strong mid-level circulation right here. You can see the mid-level cloud cover wrapping all the way around. So there is definitely a fairly robust vortex. Very robust vortex here with a lot of the deep convection just off to the southeast of that. So this, from a meteorological perspective, this is strong enough to really get its act together further, for sure. Six to 7 days, it reaches Jamaica. There's that potential, yes. Actually, it's probably gonna be much sooner than that, but the formation chance in that general area is about that 7-day mark. But it's probably going to be about 2 to 4 days, but there's no exact date or day when it's going to hit there. But the GFS, well, not the GFS, the Canadian's been consistent showing Friday morning. So this is already a tropical depression. Convection has been pretty dang persistent for a while. That definitely has a mid-level the mid-level vortex is strong enough. But it's just what's going on at the surface. That's why they're not pulling the plug on it or dropping the ball yet. That is explosive though, man. That is a lot of thunderstorms. I would not be surprised if this is a tropical depression by tomorrow morning, though. If this keeps up, this could become a tropical depression. They might not even let it fly. They might just say, it's a tropical storm. It could either be Melissa tonight or tomorrow morning or tomorrow night. Someone says it's going to weaken soon. What are you talking about? It's not saying it's going to weaken soon. I don't think that's going to happen at this point. Guess what, you all? This stalls much sooner. This is a lot further south. Yeah, this is further south in the last few model runs. On the halves A, has it stalling further south. However, it is further to the east at the same time. And that is, man, that's moving slow. Wow. Really slow. It's crazy how the GFS model has been spitting out doom runs for 98L since day one. Yeah, you know what? I want to actually show you all just how consistent the GFS has actually been for a while now on the system. I am actually very, very impressed by that, by how consistent it's been. So going past, find a run. Man, dude, we're going all the way back. We're going all the way back to almost day 10. Almost day freaking 10, people. There it is. There it is for Thursday morning, October 23rd. And let me actually do a comparison here. This is remarkable, actually. So there's the system. And here it is today. Oh man, what a remarkable job that did. Look at the difference between the two runs from, at the very beginning, literally forecasting a system 8 to 9 days out. And look at where it's forecasting it literally by Thursday morning. I mean, that is pretty darn good accuracy. Very good. Does consistency mean it's more likely to be accurate? In general, yes. Because if there's consistency, it means it's on a solution. Like the GFS really thinks the system is going to be around here in 60 hours. So it's going to be just to the south of the Dominican Republic. I am impressed, though. GFS has done quite the job. But it's still, look at that, wants a 957 millibar well east of Puerto Rico, though. Or not Puerto Rico, Bermuda, excuse me. Now look what it wants that system to do on the GFS. Oh, then it wants another system. What do you know? Fantasy, Janesy. Man, that's a big old fat high pressure center right there. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. For the North Pacific. Sometimes I like looking at different regions and holy moly. GFS. Oh my goodness. Oh boy, GFS, you are psycho. You're literally psychomaniaca over here. Golly. That is a deep, 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 deep Aleutian low. That is very deep. That verifies. How many PC monitors do I have? I have a lot. I have a lot. Not to be rude to Sean. No, I don't want to be rude. I don't want to sound to be rude. You're trying to make copy my setup. I'm sorry. We are all unique at times. Because I notice you've been asking a lot of questions. What paintbrush do you use? What do you use to make your thumbnails? I use Photoshop to make my thumbnails. I use a typical paintbrush. I use a lot of monitors. Okay. Let's just say this to Sean. Unless you win or unless you get a lot of money, like 30, like 20 or 30 or even $40,000, a setup like this is expensive. It is expensive. It's not cheap. And I had to work my butt off to get this far. Thank you so much. I'm your favorite artist. Thank you. I try to be. I try to be a good artist. But it's not easy sometimes. It takes a month to be a good artist. Answer the question. Oh, wait. Do you think it'll go west or over the Dominican Republic? Again, very hard question to answer with that one. Not hard, but like it's a lot of uncertainty. There's a chance it does go over to the Dominican Republic, but there's also a chance it does go west. The Canadian model is over here with the system. The GFS is over here with the system. I'm not your dad. Come on, Haven. Do you think by next Sunday it will be gone? um, um, no. Doesn't look like it. Chances are it's gonna exist through most of next week. I think Florida can come into play even more the longer it takes to form and longer takes over water. If it goes further west and takes longer to develop, hypothetically, it might be able to go towards Florida, but I'm not even thinking of a scenario like that right now. I mean, there's a very slim chance that's going to happen at this point. The system's very healthy already. What's up, Gregory from Jamaica? Man, we got a lot of people watching from Jamaica. How are you doing? What? What is it, Aga? I'm from Jamaica too, watching. Nice. Ricardo. Okay, can you please stop with the David is dad, David is brother? Please stop. Thank you. Is GFS showing a hurricane hitting BC? No, it's not. Okay, the European model is going to start rendering. I think we're starting to render the European model. I know people are bored. That's probably why you're acting the way you are. Sorry. Yep, the European model is starting to render. And artificial intelligence. What does the AI model show? That has not come in yet. That has not come in yet. So we have to wait for the next AI model run. It should be in really soon, though. Okay, please, Intel, stop. Stop, please, or else I'll hide you or put you on timeout, please. Thank you. You're just having fun. Well, please stop, okay? Because other people like me don't like it. Thank you. Once is enough. I get it. I get it. Thank you. That's a strong, if that's a very strong. Oh, you're talking about the storm. Oh my gosh. What am I? Okay, I had a brain fart right there. So BC, British Columbia. Why was I thinking of Eastern Canada? Okay, the storm that is in the Pacific. Yes, that is a big storm system that the GFS is snorfing out. Yes, very big. Wait, has it fully rendered? Oh yeah, it has fully rendered. Yeah, right here. Yeah, look at that monster. Yeah, that's a big storm right there. That is very big. There's a lot of cold air advection on that. Actually, there is not a whole lot of cold air advection. There is a lot of cold air advection on that storm right there. That's for sure. And this is one crazy jet stream. Man, that is a big system. No kidding. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Wish we were going to get a lot of rain. Looks like we are not going to get much now with that storm. Man, GFS sucks sometimes. We need more rain for us. That's not a fantasy hurricane. Ooh, why am I in California? So big swell for that for sure. Oh yeah. Yeah, the North Pacific has been really active with its Aleutian low, really active lately for the last 2 or 3 weeks. And you know what I like looking at, folks, for the people that are brave enough to watch this. I like watching to see how the polar vortex will evolve. In this case, it looks like it is going to strengthen big time. You can see the heights lower really quickly. That is a sign that winter is getting closer and closer. And you can see what it looks like. I'm blaming you all viewers for global cooling. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding with you guys. That's why, when there's big Arctic outbreaks, I'll be like, why is this happening? Is the sun not doing its job? I will like, It will be hilarious. I'll tell my friends this, like, the sun is not working. The sunshine is not working at all. People are freezing to death still. You know, the sun is broken. But it's actually just cold air advection working at play. Wow, the artificial intelligence model is actually more bull. No, it's about the same. Euro's weaker and further south. The European model is weaker and further south. Yup. Man, the European model continues to insist that tonight the system is going to close up. It's going to be a closed surface low, without a doubt. Man, I just looked at my subscriber number. Man, we're at 150 now. Holy macaroni. Man, we might finish off at 200 before midnight. That's crazy. I want to see which part of the fork will win. Sure, everybody wants to know. Ooh. Oh, this is further south. Further south. The European model is still somewhat refusing. Oh, no, the GFS is close. But we'll see where the Euro takes us. If it's going to take it close to Puerto Rico or take it where the Canadian model has it, we shall see. Look at the 0Z GEFS ensemble members, please. Is it already out? Should be out already, I guess. If you're telling me to look at it, it's probably bad, right? It's probably really bad. Of course it is. Wow. That really uptrended. Really aiming this further south, further west. Man. Golly, that is... I mean, it's going to be close. I mean, for sure, the Bahamas need to be watching this. Cuba certainly needs to be watching this. But Florida, if model trends continue in this general direction over the next day or so, then I might start including Florida in this as well. But I'm not confident. I'm still not confident in that yet. Definitely a lot of the members, though, want this down, certainly want this to a hurricane intensity. Wow, there's a lot of members picking that up. Canadian ensemble hasn't come in yet. Oh, wow, the artificial intelligence is done rendering. Yeah, yeah, look at this. The AI model wants it going over here and then bending back towards the west. John says that GFS is in Fantasyland. We don't know that for a fact. However, most of the ensembles, though, the average mean wants the low over here over the northeastern portion or northwestern portion of Jamaica in about 7 days. So there is a possibility, though, that this does shift back to the east. But I think there has been an overall trend further west just by a little bit. And those ensemble members are really, really concerning me. That's not really the worst of it yet. Let's wait until the European model ensemble comes out, which I won't be on for that. I'm going to be in bed. I'll be catching my sleep Z's quickly on that one. The European ensemble, though, should come out here soon. Oh my goodness. Look at the European AI model. Oh my gosh. That rainfall, those rainfall amounts really have gone up. You're up an additional 8 inches. Man, the bullseye looks to really be that Dominican Republic area. So we're going to wait for the Euro, though. Euro's currently rendering right now. So that's going to be the grand finale model, the ultimate decider over here. Yep. It's copycatting the year. It's copycatting the Canadian. So the Canadian and the Euro really want that. Literally hitting Jamaica. It looks like going to be a very close one with the Euro. The GFS not listening, not buying it at all. So we still do not know where this is going to go tonight. We still don't know. Yeah, this is literally taking a track this way, right towards Jamaica. The GFS wants it going over like that. Which is the best models? Right now, the GFS has been most consistent over the last 7 or 8 days. The Euro has been moving around a little bit. So this is going to be a big test. Is the Euro more accurate than the GFS? Or is the GFS more accurate than the Euro? Still have a ways, though. This should be done rendering in a while. But the Euro wants it weakening, though. It wants it to weaken pretty dramatically. I don't know why it insists that that's going to actually happen. The Canadian doesn't indicate that. The Euro for me. Euro usually gets it right. Euro for the win. Yeah, but it still shows that storm stalling out. It's been a while since we last looked at our hurricane models. Let's go to the halves A model, folks. See what that's showing. We're 3 days in to the rendering process. So let's go back to that. Okay, this is much further to the east. It wants it approaching the Southern Dominican Republic, where the GFS has it. But it is moving slow, 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 slow. Yeah, this is going directly north towards the Dominican Republic. Extremely sheared, very much vertically sheared. Yeah, this is very sheared. You know what? I think I'm low. I'm going to lower my intensity forecast. I am going to keep it low for that reasoning. Hurricane models have kind of backed off, so I'm going to keep it low at 75 miles an hour. I still predict a hurricane, but it's going to be 75-mile-an-hour winds. I'm not going much higher. I am not comfortable. There's so much uncertainty right now. Even with the intensity forecast, it looks a little bit more fragile. So I'm turning down the knob a little bit. I think 75 is high enough, I think, at this point. Yeah, I'm not going much higher than 75. Just because of what we're seeing. The hurricane models have backed off. At least he has A. Let's see, the H-Wharf. Oh, H-Wharf is rendering. H-Mon. We're almost done with the H-Mon. Yeah, see, this is showing not much strengthening over the next 84 hours. So, if I don't have a video out tomorrow, it's probably because there's so much uncertainty to this little guy. I'm tired of this. Literally, models are just don't know what's going on right now. We'll see about that. But it's ridiculous. This is very. I mean, now the intensity forecast might be a little bit more uncertain with this. That was the halves A, H-Mon, H-Wharf, and halves B forecast. Now we're back on the global models. Melissa stubborn laughing out loud. I'm gonna give it like 5 minutes or until 10:45. Then I'm going to bed. I'm not staying up for this. This is trash. These models are just like garbage. The GFS, definitely the winner. I think the GFS is onto something. I'm probably leaning over towards the GFS. My hunch is that I don't think there's enough to prove that it's going further west. I really don't think so yet. The GFS has been very locked in, and now the hurricane models have trended towards the Dominican Republic. So I think this, not saying that Jamaica is not going to get hit, but the GFS has been locked in on a scenario. But it's very hard to tell which one's right, but I don't, it's a fork in the road. It really is. Like, which one's going to be right? But I think I'm putting a little bit more rooting for the GFS, in my opinion. AOI will update soon. Yeah, we'll wait for that update. We'll wait for that update from the National Hurricane Center. But I bet you they'll keep it at 90%. I don't see them going up. Maybe they will. Maybe they'll declare a tropical depression on this. You see the convective structure. Man, that mid-level circulation is very well defined. I would probably assume it's probably closed almost. It probably is. That deep convection there is pretty darn persistent closer to the center. So I would not be dare surprised if it is a closed or very close to being one. I remember you used to have your last channel. Oh, I know. I have been through a lot way back in the day. The old David days. Man, this could be very close of being a depression. I think if the chances do go up, it'll be a 100, 100. Like, yeah. By the way, if you all like the content, if you all have not watched my winter forecast, go check that out after this live stream too. But if you are new to the channel, if you haven't been here before, welcome, welcome. My name is David Schlotthauer here. I hope you guys are doing great. We're waiting for our last run to come in of the night. Oh no, you wanna keep me awake? You wanna keep me live streaming, Euro? Okay, give me something then. Okay. The Euro wants us going further to the west. And where do we have the Canadian going? Also to the west. So, interesting. Okay. Wow. So, I'm angry at the models. That's where I'm at right now. 2 models this way, 2 models that way. It is weaker on the Euro, though, from the 12Z output. Way weaker. So, see, there's more variability on the Euro between runs versus a GFS model that has been more consistent with an intensity. I just wish you liked my jokes. Well, when it's in text form, I don't know if you're joking or if you're being serious, Taven. Sorry. That's why with text, there's not much. There is some emotional expression, but it's not like, I don't know who you guys look like. I only see text, right? So it's going to sit in that area for the next 7 to 10 days. Unfortunately, it's going to get sheared as it moves west, but unfortunately, it may get swept over Jamaica again. Dude, the Euro is nosediving this right where the Canadian has it too. Wow. 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Say it with me, folks. 2 to the left, 2 to the right, 2 to the back, 2 to the front. That's basically what we have. The halves A, the halves B are to the back. They have it further south. The H-Warp and H-Mon have it a little further north. So that's kind of where we're at right here. 2 to the left, 2 to the right, 2 to the front, 2 to the back. Yeah, that's... Oh, it's maintained. Yep. I got it. Okay, so satellite radar and surface observations indicate, all right. So satellite radar and surface observations indicate that the broad area of low pressure over the central Caribbean Sea continues to become better defined, with winds near 45 miles an hour. Someone did say that earlier. Though it still lacks a well-defined center, environmental conditions are forecast to become more conducive for development, and a tropical storm is expected to form later today while the system moves slowly over the central Caribbean Sea. Heavy rainfall and gusty winds. So, yeah. So they are now expecting this to become a tropical depression or storm later today. I would not be surprised even by early afternoon, this is a tropical depression or storm. I would not be surprised at all whatsoever. It's already a tropical storm to me. That's what I'm trying to say too. It looks very much like that. It's sheared, but there's a lot of explosive convection on it. There is a lot of thunderstorm activity. It's really in a somewhat curved band here. We have some curvature to that. So there is, I mean, it's close. I would give this 100%. I really would. Oh, no, Euro. No. Okay, I'm staying up for the whole run. I am staying up for the whole run. This is going to be interesting. The Euro is pretty darn aggressive. Yeah, this is out to 174, and it is definitely. Oh, it's weaker. Why do I keep on thinking it's stronger? But it is further west, though. It is further west. Man, that really strengthens very quickly, though. And it looks like it's going to go north and then go out like that. Hold me to it. Gonna go like that. And let me draw that again. It's going to go north and then bend it back like that. That's my prediction. That's where I think it's going to go. The Euro and the GFS are hitting heads like a wrestling match. I agree. That's where we stand right now. This is going to be a big test to the GFS model. It really is. Dang, that really is spinning up fast on the Euro very quickly. Oh, Nate is... Boy, that really spins up. That really spins up. Tropical storm warnings could be required for Jamaica today. Wouldn't surprise me. Ooh, man, kind of what I thought it would do. Go directly north. Wow, that's going to get close to Jamaica. That's going to get close to Jamaica. Less interaction means it has time to strengthen a little bit more. Euro wants this down to 949 millibars right before it makes landfall in Cuba. Wow, that is strong. So there is the Euro model. Let's look at the Canadian, compare that. Yeah, Canadian's a little further to the west, but man, the similarities between these two models quite remarkable. This run is stronger. Yes, it sure is. It is stronger. It is stronger. Yup. And it's going to go right over Cuba. Look at that. Man, 10 days. 10 days. This thing is still in the Caribbean. Wow. This is moving slow. It's basically CMC Euro versus GFS. Which brings me to this question. Where do you guys think this is going to go? I want to hear your guys' honest opinion. Now is the time you guys get to be a weather model. Where do you think this is going to head? I want to hear your guys' opinions. Because honestly, I am kind of tug-of-warring between the GFS, the Canadian, and the Euro. Two against two, because the icon is with the GFS. Someone said Dominican Republic. It's not going to hit India. No. Cuba looks possible. Haiti. So there's mixed opinions from all of you. Dominican Republic, Jamaica, and Cuba. So there's a lot of you that are uncertain about this too, which makes sense. It's great to hear from your guys' own opinions. My viewers, my human beings watching my live stream. The Euro does want this down again to 951 millibars over the Bahamas before it kind of slowly spins down as it moves generally off towards the northeast. So yeah, the Euro has a strong hurricane yet again over the Bahamas and over the Cuba area near Jamaica. And of course, there's a lot of purple on your screen. A lot of purple. Not as much as a 12Z run. The 12Z had a lot more purple, but still quite a bit for Jamaica. My opinion on this, I am in between the two models. I think it's going to go just east of Jamaica and right over the Haitian Peninsula. I think that's where I think it's going to head for right now, in my personal forecastal opinion. I'm not leaning to the Euro yet. I am just not. The Euro and the Canadian, I'm just not there with them yet. I need to see another day's worth of runs. If the GFS starts leaping towards the Euro at any given time, then the Euro is going to take the cake on that one. But for right now, it's a split way tie. The icon the icon GFS to the right, the euro and the Canadian to the left. Kind of where we are at the moment. All right. Well, anyways, it is 11 o'clock. It is about my bedtime. I've been doing as good as I can to get to bed early and stay on a more consistent bed schedule, folks. As always, have a great night. Please don't forget to check out my seasonal snowfall forecast. Just take note, though, the seasonal snowfall amounts are between now and May 1st. It's not with one individual storm. We're not forecasting that. It's everything put together, a cumulative snowfall through May 1st. All right. But please subscribe to the channel to get latest updates on this tropical system. As long as it remains a threat right now, which it is, I will be updating quite often on this as needed. All right. Love you guys. I'll talk to you guys later on today, this afternoon, with another detailed tropical weather update. I will not have a live stream tomorrow, though, however. This is the only one I'll do for a while, perhaps, just because I have a lot of stuff going on, and it does this. This is the 3-hour stream that it takes out of my day. So, I'll do what I can, though, but I will definitely keep you all updated on this tropical wave for sure. I might even have a video out early on in the day, actually. Matter of fact, I'll probably get one out very early, perhaps by late morning or early afternoon, just for the sake of it, to time it well with the National Hurricane Center. Anyways, love you guys. Share, like, and subscribe, and I'll be back with you soon. Thanks for watching.